everyone, I'm Serene. Today I would like to share about the film critics on this movie. Fast and Furious presents Hope and Shows. Before I will go deep about the film critics on this movie, I would like to do a brief introductions about the background of this film. The writer of the film is Chris Morgan and Drew Pearce, and this movie is actually based on a story by Morgan. And the directors for this movie is David Leitch. On October 2017, Hobbs and Shaw is officially announced for shootings, and the releasing date of this movie is 26th of July 2019. Without further ado, I would like to share about the film critics on this movie, Hobbs and Shaws. So the question is, what 3 or 4 sequences are most important in the film and why? In my opinions, the first important sequence in this movie is the scene where the first meeting between the 3 main lead, that is Hobbs, Shaws, and Heidi. I think this sequence is very important because it serves as a starting point for the great relationship between the 3 main lead, that is Hobbs, Shaw, and Heidi. Especially during the fight when they cooperate with each others to fight their opponents or the bad guy in the movie, that is Brixton's at CIA office. And the second sequence that is important in this movie is the scene where Hobbs and Deckard Shaws, they together bring down the helicopters by pulling down a chain. The tension of this sequence is very, very perfect when Luke throws a chain like a rope, and then the rope connected to the helicopters, where the helicopters there's Brixtons inside it. They want to defeat the Brixtons, so they want to pull down the helicopters, and with the help of Deckard Shaws, who is driving the cars, this Luke Hobbs trying to pull down these helicopters. And I can say this sequence is very fantastic and it's very hard to describe by word, and because every shot and every angles at this sequence is very, very captivating. And no doubt this cooperation between Hobbs and Shaws can be best shown in this sequence. And lastly, I want to share about the important sequence in this movie is the last fight between Hobbs, Shaw, and their opponents Brixtons. In this sequence, there is one quote that said by Hobbs to Brixtons that I love the most. Is the quote is go like this: "You may have all the technologies in the world, but we have hearts. No machine will ever beat that." And I really like this quote, and this sequence is very important because it's already portrayed the 2 main values in this movie. That is, first one, technologies or robot cannot replace human, and the second one is, if we humans can put down our rivalship in our heart and unite, just like Hope and Shaws, they put down their rivalship between each other, and then they unite together and fight against their opponents. And yeah, definitely, I think with this, the unity of human, we can win the fight no matter who is our opponents, even it is an immortal machine. That's all for my sharings about the film critics on this movie, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Samuel John, and I will tell you guys about the main characters of the movie and also the summarized storyline. So the main characters are obviously Dwayne Johnson and also Jason Statham, who both play as Luke Hobbs and Deckard Shaw, and then we also have Vanessa Kirby as Hattie, who is Shaw's little sister. And then we also have Idris Elba, who will play as the main character of the antagonists in this movie, and we also have Ryan Reynolds, Kevin Hart, Cliff Curtis, and Helen Mirren as the support actors. And so the story starts where Luke Hobbs and also Jason Statham or Deckard Shaw have a mission in London. So it's basically to help Shaw's little sister Hattie, who planted herself with a deadly virus during a hijacking process by Etion, who are the villains in this movie. And the lead soldier of Etion is Idris Elba, who plays as Brixton Law. So after that, they try to steal the virus extraction device from Etion's lair, which is located in Russia. So Luke Hobbs and also Deckard Shaw have to team up in order to help Hattie, who is about to die because the virus planted in herself is actually lethal in the matter of 48 hours or so. So after that, they try to attack Edion's lair and steal the virus extraction device, and then right after that, things went south, and then they fled off to Samoa, the place where they had an amazing scenery. It was actually Luke Hobbs's hometown in the movie. So right in Samoa, they had their final battle against Etion because Etion were on their tail since they knew that the virus that they wanted is planted inside Hattie's body. So that's it from me. Thank you, guys.
Hi, my name is Ivory Liew, and I'll be presenting about the positive aspect of the film Hobbs and Shaw. From my perspective, the positive aspect of the film is where in the earlier part of the film, where there is a split screen sequence where it used to introduce both Luke Hobbs and Deckard Shaw. It shows the pair equal yet opposite daily routine. For me, it's a very good film technique where it gives a really good introduction with no words need. Just some very distinct visual that explain both Hobbs and Shaw are two different people, but actually the same. Another positive aspect of the film is during their final fight with Brixton, which is the villain of the film. Throughout the film, both Hobbs and Shaw hardly get along well in terms of communication or their ways of dealing with things or problems. However, at the final fight, both of them come together to fight the villain as they figure out that 2 punches is better than 1. The whole scene was very dramatic, but in a good way, with the slow motion punch acting and the rain. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello there, my name is Bibi Adriana, and today I will be explaining about negative aspect in a film critique. The title of the movie is Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, directed by David Leitch. The movie was out on August 2019, and it is written by Chris Morgan, Drew Pearch, Grace Scott, and Thompson. The main characters of this movie is Dwayne Johnson as Hobbs and Jason Statham as Shaw. Okay. What I don't like about this movie is where a scene where the characters are involved in an accident, but they accident or some sort of distress, but they didn't receive much scars from it, like injuries or scars from it. For example, when Hobbs fell from the building, he hits a glass and cars underneath, and yet he didn't have any scars anywhere on his face or body. Next is when Shaw tries to shield himself with a vest, and he didn't receive any knockback impact from the bullets that hit the vest. I mean, it was short range, and he was walking towards the person who shoots him, but he doesn't get that impact. I mean, if it's supposed to have, right? And then lastly, I think it's one of the iconic scene in a movie where Hobbs trying to hold the chain with his bare hands, and it didn't cause him to dislocate his arm or something. He just he just groans, and then he's all right. I mean, he was holding a helicopter while in full speed of the car. That's really odd if he doesn't receive any injuries or dislocate arm because of it. And then there's this uh where the weakness they had on their necks, they were just hit slightly but with a gun, and then they immediately pass out. And that's what I thought weird. Like, I mean, if they can withstand falling off a building, why suddenly a slight hit from a gun would be a problem and make them like passed out or something? Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jovena and I will present about the theme of this movie. The theme for this movie is more to family where both Hobbs and Shaw are separated with their family. In this movie, Shaw met again with his sister Haiti when Hobbs caught her and brought her into custody. Haiti had injected herself the virus, therefore she only have less than 2 days left to live. In order to save Haiti, three of them work together and they have to go to Samoa at Hope's village because only her brother Timo can finish the mission to take out the virus. They manage to beat their enemies because of the help from Hope's family. Finally, Hobbs reconciled with her family while Shaw and his sister Haiti return back to London to meet their mother. My overall impression about this is a good movie because it is about a family where family is the person that we can rely to when we have problem. And this movie teaches us that no matter how much we fight with our family, in the end of the day, only family that will always be there to help us. That's all from me.